Norm, how are you? Welcome back to Face. I've just made you the presenter.
Go to my screen. Okay. Can you hear me?
Can hear you, and I'm waiting to see your screen. There we go. There's your S&P.
All right, we're good to go
So,
then, right?
yeah. So Norm has been dealing with the planets going back to high school for people, and then started applying it to the financial markets, and was a very successful options trader at the SIBO, a member. And in his latest writings, he brought up this solar flare that's going to hit Earth around March 18th, and he told me that he's not a physicist, and that he didn't know, what kind of ramifications it would have from the market. But Norm, I've looked into your background and found out that at one time you were a proctologist. Okay. Where did you practice?
Uranus.
All right, good one. I thought we'd start off with that.
Okay, you set them up. I'll whack them down, right?
Anyway, we're failing from that 2,800 level that you pointed out in your writings.
The comedy stylings of Dale and Norm,
Yeah, we rehearsed that. How'd it go, guys?
There you go.
Okay. All right, let's get serious. How can people make money using planets? And I know no one's better to talk to than you.
I think I was last on your show in January. I almost always talk about the moon, new moon, full moons.
Yeah.
What an excellent indicator it is for turns in the markets. Okay.
Right.
And so let's see how the last one did for you if you followed my instructions. It's pretty easy to look up when a new moon or full moon is. The last one was on March 1, 7:51 p.m. Eastern time. We had a full moon in the sign Virgo. The sun was in Pisces. I'm going to go over what I call our usual suspects. In other words, the ones that almost always are affected by the new moon, full moon. And then I got a couple of bonus markets due to the moon being in Virgo and the sun in Pisces, which would be soybeans and oil. So our usual suspects are financial gains and precious metals. Well, let's go to the S&P 500. There you go. Your full moon was at almost 8 o'clock at night on the 1st. The next morning, the S&P makes a nice low, and then it goes up, up, up. Okay, Here's your T-bonds. They topped out there at 6 in the morning on March the 2nd, and then they went down. Yeah. Here's your U.S. dollar. I know you folks love that. Dollar index there and making a nice top there 2 hours after the full moon on 10 o'clock at night on March the 1st.
Amazing.
Here's your euro. I made sure I included that. It's making a low 10 o'clock at night on March the 1st. Can it get any better?
Multiple turning points in different instruments on the moon.
Right, all right around the full moon. Here's the gold, making a low at 10 o'clock at night on March 1. Okay. Here's your soybeans. It made its turn on the morning, at midnight, just past the gold there, a couple hours later at midnight.
Can you trade the beans at midnight? Is there an aftermarket in beans?
They do trade a little bit overnight, not real liquid, but I'm just showing you the data, and you can, act accordingly. You can choose to start watching this stuff or ignore it at your own peril. I don't know. Here's the crude oil. Crude oil turned at 9 o'clock at night, 9 o'clock in the morning on March the 2nd. Pretty amazing, right?
Yeah.
So here you go. Here's what's coming up. Last night we had some things happen, cycles points for the U.S., which means we should be watching U.S. stocks, T-bonds, and U.S. dollar. Over the past several days, I've alerted my clients that S&P 2800 is a key level, major key level here, and it's wrestling with that level right now. The cash S&P got to, I think, about 2797 yesterday on a high, and the futures Sunday night got to 28.05 and a quarter. Right after the opening yesterday, the futures got to 28.02 and a change. And we just spiked up on some news, and now it looks like we might be backing off a little bit. Got right to the 2,800 level on the futures, and it looks like they were backing off when I last looked a little while ago.
Yeah, 91.5 last.
There you go. If it turns the rolls over here, we could be, if you folks are Elliott waivers, I think it looks like we had a big ABC down, and now we have an ABC up, and we might be completing that C wave for the, see, that would be the A down, B up. This would be the B wave. And then we're headed for the big C wave on the downside, and that could be very, very, very negative for the stock market, at least in the short run, you know.
Yes.
You could have a substantial decline in a very short amount of time. What's that?
If that's a scenario, I think in your writings you were talking, what, about 24.13 or something like that?
Yep, it could be even more. Could be even more. Let's just take it one step at a time, though.
Okay.
We got some things happening here for, let's see, Jupiter to Neptune. Jupiter and Neptune. Neptune is in Pisces, and its own sign of Pisces, so double power there for something big is happening here for oil. And we have, again, Jupiter making a moderate angle to Saturn in Capricorn. And so we want to watch coffee. And here's, anytime you see Mercury doing something special, that implies watch the grains. That's coming up here in the next couple days. And AC, by the way, on my notes here, means after the close. So this is, let's see here, we have today, 13th, after the close, we have the Jupiter to Saturn thing. And then a couple of days in the morning of the 15th, things get busy again. And we have the Mercury at a key point in its cycle. And then things get really busy Friday and into the weekend. We have lots of stuff happening. We got some really negative cycles for the U.S. Here's another negative cycle for the U.S. We have, and of course, the new moon's coming up over the weekend and for the 17th. And, yep, change in trend. So all those markets I showed you, those are subject possibly to big change in trends. What you want to watch for is any market that's at some extreme. It's been going up, 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 or down, down, down. That's subject to a big reversal. Over the weekend, we have Mars changing signs, and that's another indication for a possible change in trend. Mars is going to go into Capricorn, and that's coffee. So we got coffee on our watch list also. So here's the stock market. I do the most for the stock market than any other market. I do sort of Gann market math, and we have coming up this weekend, the end of the week, over the weekend, right on the new moon on the 17th, we have, Pythagoras created the mathematics for all of Western music. There's a whole musical structure for music, and that one of the numbers pops up for 13,004 days. That's from the big August of 1982 low. That was a huge bottom. The stock market that led to the bull market, that led all the way to the internet bubble top of 2000. Then we have, so I do Fibonacci time cycles. We have the 13th and the 14th. That's right now. Then we have another cluster due over the weekend. And here's your S&P 500. We had something for yesterday, possible top, and then we're going to be looking at Monday the 19th, just past the weekend. We have another Astro date we just had yesterday and today, and then it gets busy again at the end of the week.
And you got
your S&P 500.
Three different things.
I'm sorry?
29. Three different calculations at 329.
Well, you're getting to the end. You're getting to the end of the month there, you know.
Yeah, 329.
I'm focusing on this week how we can make some folks some money right in the near future, you know.
Okay.
All right, here's your S&P 500 chart as of last night. You can see here we're at this key level here, 2,800 level here, and there's some Fibonacci harmonics here. It's a 786 retracement of this whole down move. I think there's it's 1.618 times this little rally here, and it takes you up right to 2,800. So this is the key level. If you do break out over this level, then we could go all the way back to the highs, or maybe possibly even higher before it rolls over. But it still looks like a three-way structure on the upside. So in the bigger picture, it's hard to make this thing look real positive for the near term, even if it does go up,
Okay.
Here's cocoa. I mentioned cocoa is on our shopping list, possible list of changing trends. This market's been going up, up, up since December. It looks like it's possibly, you got broadening bars here, widening bars, and so it looks like it might be setting up here for some kind of top in the next day or two,
Love hot
Here's
cocoa.
the hogs doing just the, what's that again?
Love hot cocoa.
Me too. I'm a chocoholic.
Yeah.
All right, here's the hogs doing the opposite. The old hogs looks like they're looking for a trough. There's a little hog humor there for you, Dale.
Yeah,
hogs
love bacon.
looking for a trough, What's that?
Love bacon.
Okay, there you go. Kosher bacon, right, Dale?
Yeah, the rabbi spits on it.
All right, here you go. Here's T-bonds. They're just short, just a little bit under their top of their trading range. They've been in a trading range for quite a while now. And we'd like to see the bonds either get to the top or the bottom of the range by the end, on one of these dates, Otherwise, don't do anything. They're kind of stuck in the middle. Here's your coffee. We got this on our watch list. Kind of interesting. It's kind of going to show some a loss of downside momentum here. It looks like it might be putting it low,
Yeah, nice.
All right, here's your crude oil. It's in the wedgie mode. You got a big triangle wedge there, and it looks like it might be coming to an apex soon.
Yeah.
Here's your dollar index. You folks all love the dollar index. There you go. The dollar, though, is kind of smack in the middle of its range. So we want to see it move up or move down here into in my key date window to be able to do anything. So stand back, kind of stand back from that for a little while, until it gets to an extreme. It's in the middle. Your euro always reflects what the dollar's doing, and it's doing pretty much the same thing. It's kind of in the middle of its range, so no excitement there yet. Maybe in a day or two, And that's pretty much it. So any questions? You can you can sign up for my free. You can sign up, get a free subscription to my letter for a month. Get a free.
You have a view on
class
sugar?
with that.
You asked
I'm sorry?
a question. You have a view on sugar, someone's asking.
Sugar is not on my list now. I do cover sugar, but it's not on my list now.
Okay, can you explain what you mean about 2,800 in the S&P?
Dale, you sound far away now. Did you pull away from your microphone or something?
Can you explain what you mean about 2,800 in the S&P? Is he pointing for a continuation or a top?
Well, this is a big fork in the road for the S&P. If it doesn't break over 2,800, then we could be in a scenario where we could get a big down. If it breaks over 2,800, then we got a scenario where we could get a substantial one more leg up,
Okay, and Ronit said that March 18th is 9 years from the 9th of March in 09 and March 2000, 18 years.
Well, how is March 18th, 09? Why is that significant?
Because it's 9 years from the 2000 high, I believe.
No, the 2000 high on the S&P was on March the 24th.
Okay.
The low in 2009 was on March the 6th.
Okay. Anyway, that's what he said. Let me see if there's any other questions. But if you guys have an interest in it, and it looks like there are at least a handful here.
This is a way where you can greatly simplify your trading. You don't have to have a lot of moving. You don't need any moving averages or oscillators. So I use simple trend lines and let the planets, and in this case the moon, tell you when and where to look. What could be easier?
It's
right?
amazing. Yeah, I'm a lunar tick myself.
There you go.
Yeah.
So anyway, I have if you sign up, you get my letter for free if you qualify. Hopefully you have some a trading account is really good, and some trading experience and some money, so that if you love what I'm doing, you can follow through by signing up for my letter, and I have 2 letters and a course and so forth. And so if you qualify, you can get the letter for free. You get the free class, which is a 5 to 6 hour individual class on Skype. And I should go through my letter and show you all my different forecasting methods and analytical methods that I've learned over the past 50 plus years. I started studying the stock market when I was 15. I'm 67 now. And then I was investing in college and making money, and I made enough money to buy a seat on the fledgling CBOE in 1975. Also traded on the Chicago Board of Trade, and and did that for 12 years, and then decided that I was getting to be an old man in my 30s there, jumping up and down the yelling and screaming, and so I started thinking about someplace warm and sunny, and now I live in Florida.
Okay, Norm, we appreciate you bringing us all these key dates. And if you really want to learn about this type of work, Norm's a great teacher. And, let's face it, there's not a lot of great astro stuff out there. So check out Norm. He's a master. Thank you very much for your time and sharing your work with us again today, Norm. Good hunting. And good luck during the solar flare.
Thank you very much. Just keep in mind this weekend I expect some really big stuff. Starting about Friday afternoon, we have a big cluster of Mars cycles right on top of a new moon. I think we're going to get some increased volatility, some big moves into the end of the week.
Okay, brother. Norm Winski, everybody. Everyone thank Norm for sharing his work. His puts a lot of effort into it and for giving it away for free, and well worth considering learning this style that not many teach anymore. And with that being said, that's a wrap for us here. Good turnaround Tuesday to everyone. Don't forget to vote in the contest. And the whole team, will see you tomorrow. And remember, don't just count your pips, count your blessings. Good hunting the rest of the day. Adios. Thank you, Norm.
Thank you very much for having me on, Dale.